Lesson 2, let's go. So for this week, we're continuing on with our week 1 lesson about what is personal finance. So last class, we discussed and defined personal finance. We gave the who, the what, the how. We're going to talk about some basic accounting terms, and we're going to relate them to personal finance. So here we go. In accounting, we always start with the balance sheet. The balance sheet is where our assets, our liabilities, and our equity live. Our basic accounting equation is assets equal liabilities plus equity. So I'll just put a little plus sign right here. So assets equal liability plus equity. Assets are valuables. So these are things that you have in your possession, whether you're an individual or a business, that are valuable. So your house, your car, cash, if you have any investments, things like that, all of those are going to be assets. Liabilities are debts and obligations. So for the purpose of this example, let's use your house. Let's say you have a mortgage. So the asset is your home. The liability is the mortgage. So you are liable for your mortgage. So even though you technically, quote unquote, own your home, you are liable to pay it off. And then the difference between the two. So obviously with our algebra, assets minus liabilities is equity as well. And so equity is your net worth or your ownership. So using your home as an example, you have your home minus the mortgage that you owe. And then whatever's the difference is your equity in the home. So how much of it is actual ownership? Okay. Your balance sheet for personal accounting purposes is your net worth. So we're going to be coming back to this later, but just keep that in mind. Okay, let's move on to the income statement. So your income statement, which is also known as a profit and loss, is where you will be doing monthly income statement. We'll also look at it on a yearly basis. It's where your revenues, your expenses, and then your net income are calculated. So your revenue is money coming in. So anywhere that you receive money coming in on a monthly basis or just in general is going to be considered a revenue. You're going to subtract from your revenue your expenses. So if we're talking about personal finance, then your revenue is your paycheck and any other money that you receive, and you're going to subtract out all your expenses, which are going to be your mortgage, monthly mortgage, your rent if you're a renter, your utilities, your car insurance, your car payment, groceries, etc., entertainment, all of that stuff. All of that is money going out, which is what an expense is. At the end of the month, you should have your revenue minus expense, which is going to give you your net income. It better not give you a net loss, but we'll talk about that later. So it should give you a net income, which is the money that you have left over. If your revenue minus expenses come out to zero, if you have saved money, then that's okay. We'll talk about that again next week as well when we build our personal income statement. But generally what you want to remember is revenue minus expenses is net income. In accounting, what happens is once we do our income statement, this net income, let me see if I can draw this line, is going to come and feed into your equity. So at the end of the year, from an accounting perspective, what usually happens is hopefully we have some net income left over. Basically, we have net savings or something that is left over, and it's going to flow up here into our equity, which is going to increase our net worth or our ownership. Now, of course, if you have a net loss, then that's going to do the opposite. It's going to decrease your equity. So it's going to decrease your net worth. But anyway, so this is just very general terms. This is how the accounting income and balance sheet work together. If you're here to really learn basic business accounting, if you are a business owner, this is very much so applies to you as well. You would just swap out some of the personal accounts for business accounts. And so your participation question today is, do you know your net worth? And if you do, or if you don't, what does that mean to you? What does knowing your net worth mean? What does a net worth mean to you? So I look forward to seeing your comments, and we'll be back for more next week.